Well, what a wonderful day it was, that one day in September. Welcome to World of Sport. Things are a little different this weekend because there is a lot of action, and you've got to put up with me tonight because Sandy Roberts is in Portland, Oregon for the Davis Cup, and we're down 2 rubbers already. But of course, their last chance, the boys' last chance tomorrow morning, and you'll see it all at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. And of course, World of Sport on tonight, Saturday night, grand final night, a fitting night to have it, because we've got lots of action tomorrow coming live from Bathurst when the Hardy 1000 will be the feature attraction. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. It's a good Saturday night to be talking sport, to be talking football, because it was a wonderful grand final. Congratulations to Essendon, who made it a wonderful grand final by that tremendous fight back in the last quarter. Their first premiership since 1965, and in 1965, of course, a great personality, John Coleman, was their coach. And a great personality is their coach this year, and Kevin Sheedy will be talking with him later in the program. Lou and Jack, how did you see it? Am I right in saying that that great fighting last quarter by Essendon made it a great grand final?
Well, it was a great grand final, Ron. Essendon kicking 9 goals, 6 in the last quarter. Full marks to the Essendon players because they really rallied the cause. But the real hero for Essendon was Kevin Sheedy. Took a punt, made a few moves, particularly after half-time. He put Duckworth to the full forward position and was sensational. And then, of course, he made in that last quarter a couple of outstanding moves. He brought Madden back onto the ground of the ruck, who was beaten badly for most of the day. He took over the ruck position. He put Weston, a player that was very slow, to centre-half forward. He was a sensation in that position. And, of course, Bradford to the half-forward flank and Danaher to centre-half back. And, of course, the rest is history. Full marks to Kevin Sheedy, and he knows a lot about football after this, and I could say this now.
He's from Richmond.
He's from Richmond, and there's about $30,000 a year on top of his price now, I would say, Jack.
Yeah, so he'd certainly be a dear coach at the present time. But I'm looking at that game, when you go back through it, Lou, I thought at half-time they were starting to get the stutters a bit Hawthorn. They're losing their teamwork and losing pace, and they were grabbing a bit of enthusiasm too. The Essendon players starting to grab that enthusiasm.
Well, they missed a lot of chances in that second quarter, Hawthorn, when they start kicking the ball out of bounds. I think they kicked it out of bounds 5 times, and they could have kicked 1 or 2 goals there, which would have clinched the game for them. But you've got to give a lot of credit to Essendon. They looked as though they were gone beyond recall when I think they were 23 points down at the change in the last quarter. But Essendon fought it out, and I think it's all due to Kevin Sheedy, and full marks to him. But you can't take it away from the boys because they fought it out to the finish, and it was a superb last quarter, one of the best grand final last quarters we've seen for a long, long time.
Well, it was a record. They kicked 9-6.
That's right.
That's a record in the last quarter in the grand final, as a matter of fact.
Was a statistician?
Well,
I
he takes
like,
the stats.
I take those now at the present
A
time.
couple of the players that impressed me there today, too, was Hurd on the wing on DiPietro Manico. Hawker did a magnificent job on Judge. And, of course, Duckworth, a player that every coach would love to have on his side, because Duckworth is the sort of player, Jack, and you know, you've been a coach in your lifetime. I've never been a coach, but when you ask Duckworth to do something, he goes out there and he does it for the team.
You don't ask him to do things. He does them himself.
That's right.
Duckworth, that makes the difference between footballers. You don't ask them to do anything. They go and do it themselves. When things are tough, they go in with, and when the going's tough, they get tough themselves. And that's what he did today. And gave that enthusiasm, just that little bit that turned.
A little bit of bite.
Brought the other fellas right back into the game again.
Ron, and full marks to Simon Madden, who was badly beaten for most of the day, and it looked as though he was gone beyond recall.
I think that report, Lou, upset him.
It may have, and of course he lost concentration, and no one thought that he would come out and possibly come onto the ground in the last quarter, but he was superb in that last. He got those first 3 or 4 knockouts at the first bounce when the last quarter started.
Baker, what about him?
Well, Baker, and of course we'll talk to Bob Davis about him later on the show.
I thought it